What is up, guys, and welcome to part 17 of Grinding It Up today. Yes, lily pad background today. I know you like looking at my different backgrounds. Probably don't. I do though, which is why I keep changing them. Right, so today, yes, we had a rather active session today. I mean, it was like coolers everywhere. You know, like I was dishing them out and then I was getting them back. I had one of the most brutal hands. I think we're going to call it brutal hand of the challenge, and I'll probably show it to you on Saturday special. If I show too many of my good hands before that, then there's nothing to put in that episode, so you're going to have to wait until then. But basically, it was premium pair versus premium pair, all in pre-flop. I was the underdog, big underdog. My card came, so I'd made a set, and then his card came, so he made a better set, and then he made quads. So that was rather gutting. And yeah, I did actually get wrapped up in a little bit of table talk, which I know I shouldn't do, but on one table, the guys were being really cool, you know, some good conversations going on, a bunch of really nice guys, and I do like to talk a little bit when there's nice people, and then one guy just kept, like, saying stuff, like, about my stats and stuff, and I was just like, yeah, go spin on my middle finger, buddy. I don't know why I just got annoyed at that for some reason. Usually I don't respond to that, and I know it's a bad idea to respond to it. But I stacked him. I got it in with aces versus his kings. I was just like, yeah, let's rub it in a bit. So I decided to rub it in. And then he got on tilt quite clearly, because then he 3-bet me with 7-4. Okay, so as you can see, that was there, and then this was the cooler that I just mentioned. We went back down a bit. But, you know, we've ended the downswing, pretty much. You can see this little spiky thing here. We're doing quite nicely. We're on 118.36 profit. That's 158.36 in the bankroll. Yeah, I did maths right. Okay. So yeah, we made 588 so far today. Pretty much playing at EV. A little bit of tiny bit above EV. So we're gonna get on to our session today. I'm still deciding what type of session to do. We'll just see what tables are going at the moment. So we have got some full ring and some 6 max tables going. I've been doing 6 max today, so let's do a bit of full ring. Put out a bit of a longer video as well. There we go, let's grab 4 tables. Did we start off the hand thing? Yeah, good. Good. Tile. Right, let's have a look at the players. That's the first thing to do when you get to a table. Look at the players. Have you seen any of them before? You got any stats on them? I can't recognise any of them. No, I can't recognise any of them apart from maybe this guy here. Or that might just be the teddy bear icon that I recognise. I'm not quite sure. Second thing to do with while you're waiting, I like to use this time while I'm waiting for the big blind round, also to avoid paying the extra big blind, because I'm tight. I'm a bit of a miser like that. I like to use it to look at the players. So any players that we can spot on more than one table are probably regulars. Any players that are short stacked, like Goa 34, is probably not a regular, and therefore we can take some sort of advantage on him. We've got a couple of players, bears, playing at a couple of tables. Yeah, we got a couple of tables. Sky Nikita, Tang Bins playing at a couple of tables. Okay, so we've got a couple of regulars here. We've also got a couple of what looks like more recreational players. So these look like alright tables at first glance. Everyone seems to be sitting out on this one, but I don't mind playing short-handed. The good thing about playing short-handed is that actually the players who usually play full ring can't adapt properly at these stake levels to short-handed play. They tend to play the same amount of hands and that sort of thing, which is why I don't actually leave when a table becomes short-handed, because I think I have an edge, more of an edge, when it gets down to short-handed play at these full ring games. So I'm going to stick around. And we'll be looking to participate in a lot of hands while we're four-handed. Jack 8, good hand. We're getting a good price from the big blind, so I think we're going to call it. And we have flopped pretty well. A good flush draw. We're going to be calling that. Do we raise or call? I think we can call. I might go for the turn raise. Actually, no, I think we're going to go for the raise on this, just to mix it up. He could be betting with anything on that flop. It's a good flop to c-bet. Yeah, and we're not unhappy at all about getting the fold, you know. We always want to mix in some fold equity. That's why we raise with draws a lot of the time. And I think I did have fold equity in that spot, because I think he's c-betting his entire range on that board. So I think we, I wish we'd have played 9 deuce now. But what can you do? Earlier on a table down here, had pocket 9s. The guy 3-bet me. It was blind v blind, so I called. Because it was a small 3-bet as well, you know, it was like 2.5 times my raise, something like that. 2.75 times my raise. So I decided to call, and good job I did, because I flopped quad 9s. It was pretty good. And then I just let him bluff until the turn, the river even. And I felt like he actually had something by the river, like an overpair or something. He convinced me with his betting that he had something, so I decided to jam it in before he got cold feet and checked. Because a lot of players, like with overpairs, because the board was quite scary, it was like a 9, a 10 and an 8 on there, so a lot of players with like an overpair might have just got cold feet and checked. So I wanted to see if I could just get him to put in the rest of his stack, because I kind of had a feeling like he'd check back if I checked. But yeah, there you go. So quad 9s is nice, but then as I said, we got we dished out death by quads, and then we got death by quads dished out to us in turn. I'm pretty sure I can call that a pretty big cooler. It was quad kings versus set of queens, so you know I'm going to call that a cooler. And to be fair, I had to stack off with queens there, because like my HUD was telling me that I've got like, you know, I've got this little note-taking thing on my HUD here, and it was telling me that he'd stacked off with ace queen and ace king in that session already. So folding queens there would, when you can potentially be a favourite there, is just not a good EV play, plus EV play. But I wasn't happy about it, and he had kings, so I can't really begrudge his quadding up. The best bit was when I stacked the guy who was being a complete tool down there, being generally being a bit of a dick, and it's always fun to stack a dick, isn't it? You know, like bad choice of words perhaps. Always fun to stack someone who's being a dick. So yes, I enjoyed that very much. It was probably the highlight of my session. Right, so yeah, we'll do a decent amount of hands. We're not actually getting many hands at this point. So today's session was going amazingly well. We're about $12 up, and then we lost that all in with queens versus kings. So we're about $6 up for today, which is fine. I want to get above $60 profit, so we need to make just about like $2 or something to get above that little mini milestone. Because we have been going through a break-even period recently, and I do want to get out of that. I mean, I think with this today, we've started to get out of that. We started playing nice and good stuff. What I started doing is, previously I found it detrimental, but I've actually found listening to music in the background pretty helpful recently. I think this break-even period we've had is just like being a bit card dead and not perhaps getting in good situations, because I feel like I've played well. I actually feel like this recent period where I've been break-even is possibly the best I've played throughout the challenge. So it's a bit weird that, but you can't be results orientated. When you feel like you're doing the right things, just keep doing them, even if you're breaking even or making a loss or downswinging, whatever. Just keep doing the things that you feel are right. If you think you're playing well, don't change anything. That's the key piece of advice to go there. Not too happy here. Rather play heads up, but I suppose this is alright. That's definitely alright. Yeah, we'll just go for the standard c-bet here. No reason not to c-bet. Okay, so he calls pretty quickly. I think he's clearly got something. Could have a worse king. Oh wow, that's strong. He's an aggressive player. Well, we got 4 hands. What the hell does that tell us? He could be on a draw. I mean, we can't be folding this, can we? So I'm thinking we actually just stack off here. Do we just put him all in? We might be in a really... We won't know where we are on the turn, that's the problem. So I'm going to actually just make a pot committing bet. I'm now committed to this pot. Can't fold. With some extra... I don't like it, but I think I'm going to have to call this off. Ah. Come on, suck out, suck out, suck out. No. Okay. I just felt that would be difficult to get away from. I felt like he could definitely be drawing. He could have some Broadway draws. He could have Broadway draws. He could have... What else could he have? Broadway draws. He could have, yeah, the flush draw, obviously. And because we're in a multi-way pot, I sort of felt like he might actually have the flush draw. Or be drawing to some way. Because he just called. When I raised, and this guy called, he also just called. I mean, I did consider pocket tens, but I thought he might have 3-bet that. Seeing as I was a late position raiser, and there was just a caller there, I thought he would be squeezing pocket tens, but maybe not. Clearly I was wrong there. But yeah, I didn't really think he could have pocket tens, to be honest. But I'll have to bear that in mind in future. Oh, this is just annoying now, isn't it? We've gone back to where we started today. That's irritating. Well, not quite. That's really annoying. Make so much progress and then just fall back down. So the break-even period continues. Oh, the min raise, no way. The min raise is strong, especially from a passive player. Yeah, I don't feel we could have folded that. I mean, I felt he could have the bottom set, and I felt he might occasionally have like ace 10. But I thought that his range was just predominantly flush draws and Broadway draws there, and just bluffs. Although not too many bluffs, but I felt like he was drawing. I was not correct, so there you go. Not a good session here so far. Yeah, the more I think about that, the more I'm sure there's no way I could have folded. But when you lose a pot, you've always got to be thinking about what could you have done better. And if you come to the conclusion that it was just a bit of a, you know, it was just an unfortunate situation, then that's how it was. I mean, if I'd have called on the flop, if I'd have called his re-raise, I feel like I still would have ended up getting stack in anyway, a lot of the time. So let's see here. Jack 9 suited is a hand I like a lot. Although unfortunately that's not a good flop for it. And we can get rid of that hand pretty easily. Really annoying, made so much progress, and then in a couple of big pots it's just gone completely back down. But that's how it works. That's why you need good bankroll management. So against this loose aggressive player, could have called that actually. Maybe I should have called that a bit loose, but I feel like that could have been a call. Then again, I don't think folding it's a bad play at all. I just like to make some occasional loose calls. So this week has not been profitable so far at the 5&L tables. But I suppose last week was more than profitable, you know. Or the last bit before this break-even period. Having made those 10 stacks at 5&L already, I feel like we're definitely ahead of target. Can't remember what target I actually set for 5&L, but I feel like we've got a couple of weeks left before we hit it. Yeah, it's annoying. I mean, a lot of the time you can get away from top pair, top kicker hands. A lot of the time. It's not a good idea to be addicted to calling, but then again, if you're folding top pair, top kicker hands every time you get them and someone goes all in, that's not a play, because a lot of the time top pair, top kicker hands are actually good. When you think someone's drawing, when you think, you know, they're just doing something random or whatever. It's never nice to get it in with top pair, top kicker, but sometimes I think you just got to, especially on, you know, with ace king, when that hits top pair, top kicker, there's it's a pretty strong hand at that point. And as you just got to look at the ranges that they might be playing. I'm assuming from now on that this guy has a, you know, he's going to not be 3-betting much. When he 3-bets, he's probably got like aces, kings, maybe queens. Because 10s for me would be a standard 3-bet in that spot. But not everyone plays the way I do. And I mean, that's why 10s and jacks are really difficult hands to play. It's difficult because if you call, unless you hit your 10 or your jack, you don't really know where you are. And if you raise and you get 4-bet, again, you don't know where you are. 10s and jacks are really difficult to play just for those reasons. So we're not really getting any opportunities to make that money back, are we? Let's just hope for a 4-1 before the session ends. Good hand. One of my favourite hands. I love these like suited 2-gappers and suited 1-gappers. Don't know why, just really like them. This guy's tight, really tight. So I feel like if we hit our straight or flush, or 2-pair or something, we can really get paid, because he's going to have a strong range here. So as long as this guy doesn't 3-bet, I think we're good to call. Okay. So all we've got is a gut shot. Sometimes I would actually chase the gut shot against players, but not here. Because if we do, like, the reason I would chase it or think about chasing it is because we've got massive implied odds. If he's got like aces or kings or queens or jacks here, and we hit our gut shot, we can get his whole stack. But I'm not going to here. Ten-9 suited, very good hand. You possibly can even play this to a 3-bet in my opinion. Especially in position, you can possibly play this in a 3-bet pot. It's a good hand for cold calling, which is when someone bets and then someone else re-raises. So if he bets and now he 3-bets, we can cold call this 3-bet with this hand. I think it's a perfect kind of hand you want, because that, you know, if this guy calls as well, you're in a really nice multi-way pot, which is what you want with this hand. Second pair, he raises. I feel like he's going to have a king a lot of time. If I had a backdoor club, Mike can be calling this, but I feel like this isn't something where we want to get involved. Now here is a very tricky spot. I hate this spot. Under the gun raiser and your early position with jacks. Horrible spot because you can't really call because there's so many players left jack behind you and you want to play this heads up. So I think, oh fuck, misclick fold, just timed out. There you go, that's what you get for taking too long. I'm going to fold this actually. Yeah, but I mean that's a tricky spot. Obviously I wouldn't have folded if I'd realised what was going on. It's just my HUD kind of hides the time bar a bit now. Yeah, but so I would have re-raised that. I would have 3-bet to 50, 55 maybe. But I wouldn't be happy about it because obviously he's got a strong range as well from an undergun raise. So I'd 3-bet with a plan of folding to a 4-bet. Oh, actually not from him though, because obviously 4-bet would be all in. We're going to raise this naturally. We're going to fold this obviously. Decent hand to play in a multi-way pot, so I'm not totally irritated if we get the guys joining in. Right, I think we can 3-bet this. Not 3-bet, C-bet this. It rhymes. We can C-bet this. Probably got outs with the ace and the queen. That's at least 6 outs I can count. And we could be ahead some of the time anyway. So, come on, give me one good situation so we can make back that that hand before. Oh, there's a good situation, hopefully. Well, it's a good hand, I don't know if it's a good situation. That remains to be seen. Come on, 3-bet or something. Just don't have aces. 3-bet but don't have aces. That's what I want you to do. Okay, good flop. I think we just got to bet and hope he has a queen. But not 2 of them. 2 queens would be bad. Okay, so when he calls, I mean, what else can he have but queen? And I don't think he's folding a queen. I think he could be folding a queen now, so we're going to bet quite small. Because I think we'll force him to call with a queen at this point. It'd be a bit nitty to fold. I don't know. I'm putting him on a queen. Decent queen. Ace queen. Yeah. Reading right. Here we got a Broadway draw, an overcard, and second pair with top kicker. So it's a pretty good spot. Now we've got top. Oh, that's a horrible card. We'll exit this and this. That's horrible. Because I mean, any 10 now beats us. So I don't want to swell the pot. Alright, we're playing the board. I wonder if we can get him to fold the nuts with an all-in bet. Do you think we can? Let's try it. This would be hilarious if it works. Go on, fold the nuts. Fold the nuts, boy. He's actually... what's he thinking about? He didn't fold the nuts. Oh, if only that hadn't happened, we would have got paid on that river. Because if he checked back the turn, I feel sure he doesn't have the 10. That was a nasty river. I guess you can class that as a suck out. He sucked out to a chop. Yeah, not a fun session here. We made back a bit of it with that hand where we got paid for 3 streets, I guess, with the kings. Well, we'll look in a minute. But it's just, yeah, it's just one of those days, you know, you go up and down and up and down. And I would guess we're in a little bit of profit. I mean, I thought trying to get into folder nuts would actually work some of the time at these levels stakes, you know. Players often misread the board and that sort of thing, which is why I went for it. Because, I mean, if we got him to fold there, that would have been very interesting. I mean, it's happened before, you know, I've got players to fold when it's clear they're just going to split the pot. Okay, we'll sit out here. And we'll load up this. Please tell me we made something. 175. Well, it's not $12, is it? But something, I suppose. What a horrible day. Yes, also, going to preempt this question. Why... Some of you will be thinking, well, why do you just shove there? Because you just lose like a few more cents in rake. Yeah, but for every bit of rake you contribute, you also get VPPs and FPPs. So, and obviously, the more FPPs we have, the better tournament we can play at the end of the week. So I don't mind losing that little bit of rake to get those FPPs. Yeah, right. Ugh, horrible day. Let's look at the graph. Let's just look at today's graph, actually. I want to just see today's graph, because I imagine it's going to be pretty... can we go for today? Pfft, look at that. That's quite a funny graph, isn't it? Woo, and then all the way up, all the way down. Like a roller coaster. That's going to be titled this episode, actually. It's a good idea. Okay. Well, I will see you tomorrow for the next episode, which will hopefully be slightly more consistent and slightly more successful. So, goodbye for now.